Jane, we're here at Eden Park for the 100 days until World Cup kickoff. Just how excited are you that we're this close to everything getting underway?
Oh, I'm incredibly excited. I started in this job about 2.5 years ago, and I remember at that time thinking that it felt like a long way till 2023, and suddenly we're here. We've been through so many milestones. We've had the draw, we've had the playoff tournament, we've launched mascots, we've launched tickets, and now we're at 100 days to go.
How's it looking? Is it going to be the biggest attended Women's World Cup ever?
It will be the biggest attended Women's Cup ever. You know, we're co-hosting it with Australia, obviously, and we just know that New Zealanders, we're sports fans, we're a big sporting nation. We just know that they will get out and fill our stadiums and welcome the world to our shores.
And that's exciting because it's the biggest tournament ever. It's the first time we've got 32 teams in the finals.
That's right, up from 24 in 2019. So extra teams, more stadiums, more people, greater fans. It's going to be huge.
From your end, what you do here with the local organising committee as part of FIFA, how much are New Zealand football and Football Australia involved in the running of the tournament?
Oh, they're very involved, and the role that they play is incredibly important. They are football in each country. They're responsible for the delivery of the legacy. So how does football gain from this? Years after the tournament has ended and the stadiums have closed their doors, how many more women and girls are playing football? How much more do we know about football? But they're also very involved with us in terms of how we deliver the tournament, what the experience will be. So it's a partnership with the football federations in each country. Yeah.
What do you see the legacy will be after this tournament for New Zealand and Australia?
I think first of all it's about the ability to showcase to the world that New Zealand is world class in the delivery of major events. So a very, very important legacy from an industry point of view. There's obviously the legacy of football. We would expect more women and girls and boys and men to be playing the game. But it's also just the importance of the development of industry that is associated with the event industry, the return to hospitality for the hospitality industry. So this legacy just forms in so many different areas, but it's going to be exciting for so many as a result of it.
It will be, and we've seen, obviously, we had a Rugby World Cup here last year, Women's Rugby World Cup, that set records. The Euros, the women's football in Europe set records this at the last go-round. What have you learned from those tournament experiences that you could bring into this one?
I think I had the great privilege of being at a couple of the matches for the Euros, and I was also here at Eden Park to follow the rugby. And what we saw with those was just that incredible engagement with fans, really talking to fans, ensuring that fans understand the story of not just the teams, but some of the individual players in those teams. What will the entertainment be that we'll be putting on at our stadiums? What we've just seen with the chant, how do we engage and make it more than just what's happening on the pitch? Obviously what's happening on the pitch is what everyone's here for, but there's all the elements that I saw at the Euros and that rugby did so well as well to ensure that their fans were buying a ticket to something that was going to be incredibly entertaining.
Do you think New Zealand as a whole, the general sporting public, realises just quite how big this is and what's about to hit them?
I don't think they always have, but I think they're learning it. I think we are sharing that story. I think people will really appreciate it once it's here on their doorstep, and they read about it, they hear about it, they see it, and people are buying tickets. They're going to games, they're coming home, and they're telling others. But I think they're on that journey. They're on that journey for certain.
Here with former football Fern, Maia, Jackman. Maia, 100 days to go, mate. How fizzing are you?
I'm fizzing. Yeah, I was standing out on the field before, wishing I was going to cruise out there in 100 days. But yeah, the Unity beat was cool. It's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be stuck in everybody's head in 100 days' time. That'll be awesome. So yeah, 100 days to go. It's still a while, but it's not. So yeah, pretty exciting.
I did notice that you've come out of retirement to play for Springs. Is this you're making a late move? Have you let Yitka know?
Yeah, I haven't let yet. I haven't let Yitka know yet.
Yeah.
She might have heard, and I might be in the wings. No, it's it's just I just wanted to see if I could, and I can. So it's pretty cool. And there's some girls in that team that are probably wanting to hit the football Fern. So it's really cool to just sort of be in the environment and impart some wisdom maybe.
Now, we've seen New Zealand football in the past have had successes with World Cups. We've had age group World Cups here. We've had qualified for a lot of World Cups. Feels like at some point they haven't really capitalised on that post those World Cups. How do you see New Zealand football best being able to capitalise on the legacy of this World Cup?
Well, it's a good question, and it's a big question. I think the legacy, the participation numbers will probably increase after this World Cup, so it's in capturing those numbers and keeping them here, and for boys and girls, and it's making the sport, and it's talked about a lot around the world, but it's making the players feel valued, especially females, girls, women, feeling valued in a sport that's predominantly, male. So equality, value, making sure that we have the facilities to push the numbers when they are pushed up, that we can hold those numbers and keep them in the game and keep them excited. And I feel like we need some really good pathways, and with the Wellington Phoenix got a women's team here now, and other pathways that can be what do you call it? Made more pathways, more better pathways for juniors to create the skills and the techniques. I really feel like technically New Zealand are a little bit behind the rest of the world. So how do we increase the technical abilities of our players moving forward? And that's just more pathways for them to follow and to go right up to the top.
And not just pathways for players, but I guess that's also, you're talking pathways for coaches and upskilling for those coaches who then pass that on? Yeah,
absolutely. And, it's about getting more better coaches. Is that female? Is that male? Don't know. Like, whoever's the best, but trying to, we really need to lean on the really great male coaches to mentor the women coaches, or more women coaches. There's more women coaches in this FIFA Women's World Cup than there ever has been. So how do we get them together to get more women in front of more women to champion coaching at a high level, and what that means and what that can bring, and so as players as well, but administration and coaching.
Eden Park is sold out for Game 1, Football Ferns versus Norway, which is going to be absolutely fantastic, particularly when the national anthem's sung, when we see the Unity beat. We've seen a successful Women's Rugby World Cup here, but then the Super Rugby Aupiki crowds haven't really backed that up. It seems to have fallen away quite quickly. How do we combat that with football?
That's a tough one, because it's the hype of the tournament, isn't it? And how do we carry on that hype when that's all gone? I think it's just more exposure, more visibility, more media opportunities for the players and the teams, and just always just on it. So I think with the rugby, it was there, and now it's off. It's not in front of us all the time. So we need to find a way to just keep things in front of people and keep it visible, just getting more media backing off the back of this World Cup, and making sure that we're lifting the game and bringing people to it.
Short of lifting the cup, what does a successful World Cup mean for you here in New Zealand?
For me, or the Ferns, or
well, both?
Both. Look, a successful World Cup here is just getting sold out, because we've just got so many people wanting to come and watch, and obviously people from around the world will be coming, but I really want Kiwis to get behind this and see what this tournament is about and how big football is, and to just see no seats that are empty, and just making this such a great event that no one can they have to come, they want to be part of this history-making tournament. And for the Ferns, I would love to see them get out of the group. We have never won a game at a Senior Women's World Cup. That would be our first really great tick box, and then to get out of the group.
Raelene Castle, thanks very much for your time. How has this been for you this morning here at Eden Park, 100 days to go?
Well, it's amazing. It's crept up on us, hasn't it, 100 days to go, but that means it's got momentum. It means that the fans can start getting excited, because it's a really short runway.
Now, as a Sport New Zealand, is your job. How are you involved in the running of this tournament or in the promotion of this tournament?
Yeah, so not involved in the promotional running really. We've been in behind the scenes. I'm helping with some funding to make sure the dressing rooms have been up to standard, so gender neutral facilities, working with New Zealand Football on their legacy programs, and generally just being a supporter with the government to make sure that the investment that came from the government to help get this event here, that it all runs smoothly as possible.
You all have brought a lot of IP from your previous jobs, famously Australian rugby and the Canterbury Bulldogs as well. What has been the difference working in this space to working in those spaces?
Yeah, I mean it is different. This is an event like New Zealand actually doesn't understand how big it's going to be. We've had a Rugby World Cup quite a long time ago now. This will start to challenge that for size and scale, number of fans and international visitors we're expecting. You'll see people walking around the streets dressed supporting their national team. So it's going to be an amazing multicultural opportunity for all of New Zealand to get involved and meet some different people and see the very best female footballers in the world.
32 teams at this World Cup. Of course, 16 of them are going to be based here for the group stages. You talked about gender-neutral dressing rooms and having the correct facilities. How much work have you had to do in preparation for this tournament?
Yeah, there's been a lot. I mean, you don't host a tournament of this, like any world tournament, without doing a huge amount of work behind the scenes. The great thing about it, no one knows about it. It's just done calmly in the background so that when the teams get here, they've got the training facilities that they need. They can play in venue and on the day. We can see great crowds and we can see some amazing football.
Well, obviously, people will think Forsyth Barn, they'll think Eden Park when we talk about that. But, for example, I was just talking to Ruben from SENZ about Shepherds Park in Birkenhead, which is his local club, and that's where the Italians are going to be based. So, in terms of training bases, how much work have you done in those spaces?
Yeah, well, certainly New Zealand Football have been working really hard to make sure that those training bases are up to a level you would expect for a world tournament. So that's another example of a really great legacy piece. Lots of football grounds that are used as training venues now will leave a great legacy for all of our young people to use.
One thing I think the New Zealand football has been guilty of in the past, and I'm going a long way back here, 1982 probably didn't capitalise on that the way they could have. You could argue 2010 as well. How do you see them best capitalising on this World Cup?
Well, that's why there's this, it's called United Legacy, and that's about the plans that you put in place before the event so that you know that what you're going to do and how you're going to deliver on it. Johanna talked about their Women in Leadership program. There's also the focus on the Unity Football. This is going to travel around the country where every young person gets a chance to play football, to see and aspire. What is it they say? If you can see it, you can be it. And I think this tournament is going to deliver that in spades.
What are you most looking forward to in 100 days' time?
Well, this venue sold out here at Eden Park for our football Ferns versus Norway. When we lift the roof singing the Te Reo national anthem, that's going to be a very special moment.
Raelene, thank you very much for your time. Go well and look forward to 100 days' time, eh?
My pleasure.